Welcome to another episode of the House Sessions podcast. That is the one. Welcome to episode number 5, which is kind of crazy to say.
Pretty much.
We've already, statistically speaking, fucking made it past what a lot of people would usually do. And again, thank you so much for the feedback as well. It's been nothing but positive. We've got so many more people getting on board as well with the podcast and various other projects that we're going to basically stream off. This episode is going to be a little bit of a sort of taste of what's to come on the channel. You will also notice we're in a different location in the house.
In a different corner.
So for as much as we love the nighttime setting, which was over in the corner and stuff like that, it was kind of getting annoying not knowing where we were going to put the thingy, so we put a little bit of negative space over here for obviously the little pop-ups and stuff like that. And also as well, we're going to be starting a little bit earlier because on Tuesdays when me and you were editing sort of all the bits and all the pop-ups and stuff like that until about 12 o'clock, just to try and fit it into our busy schedules. We were like, why are we doing this?
Hella tired.
So I feel like this is going to be the new set. We'll trial it. Let us know in the comments below whether you prefer this set or you want us to bring over into the other corner. Personally, I don't think it matters that much.
I think also it's just not that dark anymore. It's summer, despite our outfits.
This is true.
It is lighter for longer. So
yeah, I'm gonna say we should be in shorts. To be fair though, when I wore shorts on the episode that was in the shop, I was running the risk of flashing myself. So I'm glad the fact that no accidental spills. They almost got what they wanted, mate.
I'm pleased to know even in episode 5 we can't escape your penis.
It's just like, why has it become a thing?
Long-standing joke.
It's just going to end up being one of them. If you were here at the start, you knew what was going on, so the real ones will know. But to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what this episode is, this is based off of a question that we've been asked numerous times at numerous shows, numerous comments in the box and this, that and the other. And that is, what is in our bag? So we're going to be starting a series with this where we're not even going to be just going over mine and Liam's bag, but we're also going to be going over some very special guests and some people that have gone out and taken some time out of their busy schedules to tell us what their top 3 picks are for various things as well. But that's as far as I'm going to let you guys into that one, because you better be staying
tuned in.
Eyes peeled, mate. Yeah. Eyes peeled.
Some very cool people getting on board with that.
Yeah, man, 100%. As long as everyone sort of comes through with it as well, which pretty much most people have. We're just waiting for a couple of bits of content off of other people. But what's kind of nice as well is we're figuring out obviously different things with the algorithm, what people want to see, all that sort of stuff. So we are going to be not throwing shit at the wall, but just throwing good quality poop.
Yeah.
And just seeing what works and what you guys prefer seeing, because at the end of the day we don't want this to be the same as everyone else. There's limits to obviously what me and him can chat dribble about as well, so we want to just kind of keep it fresh, keep it moving, keeping it sort of different to what other people are doing. So for today we're going to go through what is in mine and Liam's bag. Welcome to our bag, which is very beautifully set out, and I'm not gonna lie, I've not done this
is very nice
for years, to be honest with you. So we're gonna go through basically clippers to start off with. We'll go through the essentials essentially. Didn't mean to say that.
The essentials
essentially. So we'll go through probably clippers first, because that's what most people ask, is clippers, scissors. They ask us all sorts of bits and bobs, to be honest with you. They ask us the weird and wonderful when it comes to a kit bag. So, without further ado, would you like to showcase your first clipper?
Why not? So, first clipper, I have used many clippers, but the JRL Onyx stands out. Arguably the best clipper I've used.
It's got power, bro.
It does have power.
It's got power, bro.
I will say that. It's good. It has a low setting and a high setting for obviously lower speed going through bulk, higher setting going through, your more detailed work. Some people say that they like the lower setting for doing detail work. I don't think it really matters. Learn how to use your clipper properly.
Yeah, I just think you don't need to overcomplicate it, to be honest with you.
Not at all. But I've used wall, Barber stylecraft clippers, and they've all shit out on me in some way, but this has lasted pretty solidly.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. I think sometimes it's just like you gotta have a couple of duds, and then all of a sudden you get a good clipper.
Exactly.
Like,
that's how it is with anything electrical, right? But this has been really, really good to me. It's super quiet as well, which a lot of people tend to comment on.
That's true.
I don't work on kids, thank fuck for that. But
We've never really been a kind of kids shop.
Not a
We
kids
purposely, as well, in our shop don't have a booster seat or a skateboard or anything like that. Like, literally, just because it's like if you don't fit in the chair, then you aren't getting your hair cut.
yeah,
Simple
and
as that.
because I'm a knob, tell parents it's 30 quid.
No, I think it
'Cause I
should
won't
be.
pay it,
Like,
like-
I mean, that's a whole different. That's a podcast topic.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
Should kids
but
be cheaper?
Should kids be cheaper? Like,
Yeah.
I've seen that come up quite a few conversations. To be honest with you, like, a kid takes more effort. Personally, my views on that is I shouldn't be doing a kid's haircut for any cheaper.
I like doing nice
if it's
haircuts too.
student, then yeah, because obviously you've got less money. I don't mind doing NHS and sort of forces and stuff like that. Discount as well. I think that's important to do because you're helping people that don't earn as much, but at the same time are also doing massive things for essentially society. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's either one or the other. But a child, I don't really care.
We don't negotiate with terrorists, right? We do not. So yeah, my clipper, JRO Onyx. Great clipper. Never let me down.
Mine is a Barberless Low Pro FX Gold Edition with a titanium blade. That we mentioned blades because I really don't think it fucking
I
matters.
don't change my blade. I keep it what it is.
Yeah,
It's there
it's
for a
one of
reason.
those, right? I understand the fact that there probably will be differences, but I used to do it. I used to always get a ceramic top blade back when like magic clippers were the thing. Then you used to get like this carbon bottom one. Right, don't get me wrong, right? They are good and they have their place in the world. But the problem is why I have a bugbear with it is people that don't know how to cut hair and think by changing that, it's going to help you
You're
to cut
automatically
hair.
the best barber.
Spend the money on education, not shit tons of gear.
Yeah.
Nothing that you're seeing here is excessive. Like, it's just essentials. Essentially. Can't stop. But yeah, anyway, before we go down to the route of accidentally offending people and their fade blades, I got these very nicely sent out to me. I'm very, very fortunate that I work for quite a few companies, and quite a few companies have sent over, obviously, you know, like bits and bats. So it's hence the reason why I use a lot of Barberless, is just because I've been using them for years. Now, this was my first move away from what was the classic Barberless. Yeah, Barberless Pro, like, which was the lightsaber looking one. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that clipper, but I do get the whole smaller. It's just a little bit more fluid. Having said that though, the JRL is a very similar sort of shape as well to the Barberless, and I thought I'd go for that, but obviously getting sent over these, I love Barberless. Like, Barberless has always been my favourite company. It's always been a company that I very much wanted to work for some time. Obviously, hopefully I'm going to be with those guys at Barber Connect. I'm just going to be finding out what the crack is there as well, with all of that. But yeah, literally, low throw is kind of my favourite one at the moment. Again, any clipper that has a click on the lever, for some reason in my head, that is just like a must, because, and I think that is for quite a lot of people, is just, if I go 1-2, it's like you're almost subconsciously,
both
yeah,
sides.
exactly.
I feel like that's a pretty divisive thing as well, because some people are like, oh no, it's nicer to go in between the clicks, but I'm
But
like,
you could literally go like that.
yeah,
You just gotta have not
I think a
the
clicky lever's just nice. I'm too regimented, I think.
If you really wanted to go in between, right, just don't have sausage fingers and just be a little bit delicate with it, and you can just literally pass it in between, and that's in between, and then in between. If you can't,
ASMR.
also a little bit of ASMR.
I will say that Barberless team, incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Really, really sick team. Down from Kai, Tarek, Jody, I think is Barberless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously
like,
this dude.
hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully we'll be on the team. So speaking of Barberlesses, over on that as well is the Skeleton FX with a titanium 2.0 blade on it, which just comes stock again. any form of clipper for me, exactly the same as yours. If it's got this kind of skeleton, bit more transparency through the work that you're doing, it doesn't have this great big bulky kind of section in there as well. Just anything that sits like that. These are really clean for lineups and stuff like that. It's a very strong motor as well for a Mini, but it's not too sharp. My only bugbear is sometimes when things catch quite a bit and they feel kind of very close and stuff like that. Like sometimes it just irritates quite a lot of people's skin.
Yeah.
And for me personally as a barber, like I would rather lose a little bit of that polished kind of look when you use the foilers. It's like, you'll notice as well, I don't have a pair of foilers on here for this exact reason, is they just irritate people's skin. The only time that I would ever use a foiler is realistically just tapping down on a hairline maybe. There's very little things nowadays that I don't do, because if I want skin I'll use a cutthroat in the direction that the hair grows rather than cutting something so close. And you see people as well like doing like fades and it's like they're reaching against the grain and how the hair grows, and even with these as well it's like just really getting in there. Or like pressing down quite hard, like to stamp their zero line in. It's quite an aggressive way of cutting hair. Like,
I think you end up making more work for yourself in the long run as well.
Yeah, you do 100%, and also irritating your client's skin, which in my personal way of doing things is very much for client experience. I don't want to irritate someone's skin. I want someone's skin to feel fine as well for the next 3-4 days after. I don't want it to be irritated or anything like that. And I think just sometimes having these set, you can still have them zero gaps, but you know how it is. Like, I think that's my only bugbear with the ones that you've got. They are stupidly good though.
Well, they're called sabres for a reason.
Yeah.
There is a single thing that these won't take off. So yeah, I use the Starcraft sabre. I was using the Barber Pro for like the first 2 or 3 years of me cutting hair, and they were great, but I chipped the tooth and I cannot get them to cut ever since that. So I did get these, and yeah, you're not joking, they are sharp.
Yeah.
But I've not cut anyone. Occasionally there's a bit of a rash, but that's
it's
so
just sometimes for me it's just like the snag that you sometimes get when it's too close. But as well, there are means and ways of getting away with doing it without doing that. It's just if I you know how it is in a barbershop, sometimes if something's ran out and for some reason you don't have them to hand, you're like, right, can I just borrow your clippers for like 2 seconds? And like literally, when you're using them in the same way, and that's just my fault, to be honest with you, like as something that is a little bit softer, then all of a sudden it snags and you're like, oh god, fucking hell, that's a bit.
So I don't tend to get any snag with these just because, like I said, I use them daily, so I know how they work. But yeah, if you are not careful, these will cut a bitch, to be honest with you. But they are great for lineups. They're great for like the detail work.
A solid unit as well in your hand, I will say.
Feels nice.
Like the build quality of those. And a lot of clippers nowadays is probably why quite a lot of brands need to step up coming for your Wahl, because I'm sorry, every single Wahl clipper that I've ever touched is just the most plastic clipper. I know I'm coming for you a little bit there, and you know, like Wahl has been going for years, it's a very reputable brand, but I'm sorry, Wahl clippers are just not built like the way that they used to.
Was it a 10-year or a 100-year anniversary senior, but that apparently doesn't last as long. So
because it's like, just because the outside is metal doesn't mean the fact that the internals
is any better.
Like I used to have this issue as well with Barberless, to be fair, like just being fair. Like there were a couple of times where I was just going through clippers when I had like the new ones, whereas the old ones I got given a prototype pair of Barberless Pros. And they were the ones that basically, they were the first ones that went wireless, because I used to use the Barberless ones even when they were wired. And what's it called? The way that they were built is nuts. I've still got them somewhere.
Like a tank.
Yeah, like fully. But the prototype ones that I got off of Josh Goodwin, they lasted me probably about 3 years. And then I got a new pair, which was like a darker grey pair. And again, I went through about 2 pairs of them, and it just seemed like they were sussing it out. Again, or either just building things a little bit cheaper than the prototype ones. I don't know. But at the same time, it just kept on breaking. However, they've been really good to me.
And this is the thing, like with all clipper brands, like irrespective of how big they are, how long they've been around, there's always issues. Like the Stylecraft doesn't have the greatest reputation, honestly. The Instinct is known for blowing up in shops, like catching fire. But that
kind of
trimmer has never had any bad reports. So like,
I think sometimes though, do you not think it's just the look of the draw with clippers?
Yeah, it's like buying a car, right?
Yeah, like sometimes. Honestly, don't talk to me about that right now.
Someone once said this to me though about like, what was it on Reddit? Either way, someone said like buying a wall clipper is like buying a Toyota. It's not very exciting, but it's reliable. You could buy something like a Barber or a JRL. It's like getting like something a bit flashy, a bit like a Ferrari. It might break down, but you'll have a greater time using it because it's more fun.
I just have a bugbear with WoW because I once flicked my half guard and the entire bottom of the clipper just like
shit itself.
Yeah. Abuse of a better word.
You'll have to come back tomorrow, mate.
Literally, like, yeah, it's just, I've always had a bit of a bugbear, but I'm a bit of a Babbleless till I die kind of guy. Yeah. Just because I've always had a relationship with them, they've always shared my work, and I'm probably very biased with it, to be honest with you, but that's just my way.
Any Babbleless I've used has been great, I will say that, but that JRL is just...
It fantastic. Just seems to be in the hands of more and more people, and to be honest with you, even I've had a cheeky go with it a fair few times. And I do, when you're working with really, really sort of dense hair, that's why I wish that I had the Babbleless Pro, because I always reach to your JRL because it just gets through a little bit more. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of power in the Low Pro. But at the same time, I think when you're doing like afro hair or coarse hair, like really like, not even like Asian hair, like as in like really thick, like coarse, like almost like iron-like hair, sometimes you just need something with a little bit of a smoother motor rather than even just a power. And I think that's one of the things that the Low Pro doesn't have, but the Boost does. And I'm quite looking forward to when I get sent over some of the Boost products because they have that smoother motor. And I think it is just where that kind of weakness is what's not getting all the way through it. But I don't really know too much about all the science behind it.
Yeah, I mean, the JRL, from what if I remember, is like a 10,000 RPM a minute motor on it. But you see, look, that's where you've got the 2 speeds where it slows down to like 7, which is what the Babbleless sits at.
The thing is though, right, is like all this aside, I can pattern somebody up with a pair of fucking dusty pube trimmers.
Yeah.
Like literally, I did a fade on somebody like literally a couple of weeks ago, and all I was using was a wired pair of wires. Still had the guards and everything, but and again, like the awful clippers, like they're actually meant for facial hair or fucking something further south. Like, and literally, you still manage to do it because you know what you're doing and you know what to expect with less, or how the blade like sort of works and all that, such as I feel like after you've been cutting hair for so long, it doesn't matter about lighting, it doesn't matter about the quality of the tool that you use, and you just somehow manage to pattern somebody else. It just takes a little bit longer. Truth be told, like that is all good equipment does, is make things more efficient and work slightly more consistently, to be honest with you, like, and speeds up your process.
What I think like it's important as well, like when I'm sure if anyone first starts cutting hair, they get told don't go spending all the money on the biggest and the best because you are not going to know how to use it. If someone bought that trimmer of mine for the first time, you'd hurt people. Whereas you need to learn on something softer and go to that in the end. You
know what, right? I think if I was going to say to somebody, best first clipper, if it was going to be a trimmer, get an Andis.
Oh, the slimline one. You had is so good.
Honestly, like I've still got it, right?
For detail.
I've had that Andis slimline, the one that I gave to you when your Babbleless broke before you got them. I've literally had those for, I think, when I was working in King Kirby. Damn. Which, when you think about it, is probably about 6 years ago, somewhere around that area. Like, genuinely, to have a clipper for that long, and it's just been sailing through. And you know what, as well as I always use that when I'm on set or on shoots, because there's absolutely no way that you can cut somebody, and I think that's a great way to start. What would you be your very first clipper though?
So my first clipper was a wall, what is it, that taper or something? The white one?
Super taper.
That was my first clipper.
That's the one that had a shit. Like, so when they turned wireless, like everyone got a pair. And like I was like, nah, never gonna be the same. Tried them a fair few times, and then I was like, fuck it, I need to get with the times, to be honest with you. Like, because a wire is slight annoying as fuck.
Giving
like,
it that all the time.
Yep, literally. You know what? I missed the whole like
doing it out of muscle memory.
Yeah, like literally you did though. Like you whipped around like you'd be cutting hair, and then you'd have the wire in your hand.
Yeah.
And then you'd be holding the head even with the wire in your hand sometimes, like, and literally like flicking it over to the other side. It's like having a hairdryer, really.
Yeah.
Like literally, it was pretty mental.
But my opinion, first clipper, I probably would say Barber Pro.
Yeah.
Because it's weighty. Like, get used to holding something
With a little bit of weight to it.
It's nice and like it's good in all areas. It is a solid clipper, that, to be fair.
I can agree with you on this one, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would actually be a pretty dynamic duo. I'm pretty sure that is literally, well, the wired versions, that was my very first clipper duo. I could definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Right, should we go on to... What should we go on to? We'll go with essentials, right? Because clippers, scissors, combs. Let's be honest, that's
Cool.
what we really need to go through as an essential. Do you
Guards,
want to start off
obviously.
with yours as well? Oh yeah, actually, we'll go through guards because this one's quite an interesting one. I don't have my 0.5 because I put it down somewhere in my living room and it's disappeared, which seems to happen quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like you do it as well. I will have a 1.5 and a 1, which is a WAL 1.5 and a 1. And then when I have a 0.5, these teeth, you must have seen people fucking chopping these off.
Yeah.
Or even getting the guards that you've got. They're fucking horrendous. They just stop hair coming through.
Yeah.
However, the Barberless guards, I'm not going to lie, when I very first used them, they took a little bit of...
The soft plastic ones.
Yeah, they were a little bit of an adjustment, but the 0.5 on there is personally better than the little short clip ones that you've
Yeah.
got. But in fact, we'll chuck that away because...
We don't need that.
Fuck you.
He hates war, but he likes the guards.
Yeah.
So yeah, my guards
Just
are
like
like
us.
it's a pretty odd mixture of guards, to be honest. So I use a JRL half guard. I just like it. It's kind of more dense plastic, but it's just easy to get on and off. Occasionally I have to bend that clip back, but it's a pretty solid half guard. Every other half guard I've chewed through the teeth on it. Pretty rapid. I used to get the soft wall green ones. And that was just the worst. The purple one rattles.
You know how many times, right, I've seen the plastic, the green, the red, and the purple.
Yeah.
Right. You know how many times I've seen them fall off in my career.
Yeah.
And just
You
go
to do
wink.
it and
Because they're just
really-
too soft and the clip doesn't stay on forever.
Exactly.
Like literally, I think that's as well. Like if you can get the metal clips on anything,
It's bad.
try
Yeah.
or just make sure that the plastic's hard enough as well.
Yeah.
And as well, then you're actually a true guard as well. Like it shouldn't be soft
Exactly,
and falling
'Cause
about.
The more it moves, you're not getting that.
And the
right
noise as
contact.
well that you will get off of a loose guard is fucking disconcerting as well. Like yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the one.
So yeah, JRL half guard. I recently switched to an old school one because I tried a couple of the lads in the shop and I fuck with it. It bangs. It's a nice little guard, especially because like sometimes the way that the bracket on the JRL works is it stretches a little bit further. So like sometimes I felt like
Is
there was
that
a
an
little-
OG one? That one.
That is not an OG one.
Is
I
it
got
not
this at
an
Barber
OG
Bash
one?
recently. I wish it was because the metal ones are way better apparently. But sometimes I felt like there was a little bit of a gap between my half and my one, so I wanted to flip a little bit more. Whereas this is just a little shorter than my other one, so it's a little bit of a nicer fit. It just takes a while to get used to like clipping it on.
That way,
That way.
yeah. No, I get what you
'Cause it
mean.
is
I couldn't get it on
very
when I very
different
first used one of
in
them.
its fitment that like it doesn't clip on from the back, it clips on from the sides. Then a Barberless 1.5, the best 1.5 I've ever used to this day.
I've lost mine.
It's
I don't know where it goes.
a shit. It's the best. The clip is solid. It's a solid like guard, super nice. And then for the rest, I use magnetic guards. The Stylecraft magnetic guards. I've never ever had an issue with any of it popping off, which a lot of people say is like the biggest issue. Your guard.
I think they
fly
kind of
off.
sussed that out because it
Yeah.
was the case though for quite some time.
Makes sense, but I've never had an issue with them. So yeah, 2 and 3 I use magnetic, and then everything else is like a clip-on guard, but all different brands. Which for a man who likes to be consistent in the way that things look was a little bit jarring, but
Yeah, I kind of get that. It's like a satisfying. You'll
yeah.
also notice as well, I'll let you say this point because you made a very good point earlier on about how I'm very colourful and he wears black every single fucking time. However, when you look at my kit and you look at his kit,
mine
what's more colourful?
Yeah.
And by the way, I was sent that colour. I'm not one of them sort of people who thinks that, oh, I've got gold clippers because I'm fucking
Because you did
sick.
10,000 haircuts, you get
Yeah.
gold clippers. unlocked it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all my kit's really colourful. I just like it. I don't know. A few customers have mentioned that as well. They've been like, "Oh, that's a nice little."
It's something a
little
bit
colour
different
match.
as well. And I think it speaks a little bit more
It's
personality.
not too
as
garish.
well.
I don't think I'd ever go for like red. I think red's a little.
Yeah,
Red
like
barber
the
shops
Babyliss
scare me.
Fucking, have you seen the Ferrari
Ferrari,
FX and stuff
yeah.
like? I'm sorry, it's
The
just
Iron Man spec, yeah.
It's personally not a bit of me.
So yeah, they're my guards.
There indeed. Right, moving on to scissors, because you've got a little bit of variety. I've spoken about my scissors, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run through mine real quick.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, literally, like we said on the other episode, got a pair of all my scissors are leaf. Again, this is one of the blessings. Is that I work with obviously quite a few companies that send me over stuff, so I tend to just be quite consistent in what I use. As well, I think when you're cutting hair, sometimes it's nice to actually have a consistent brand to work with, and then you really do have just pure muscle memory when it comes to a tool. Like, I've been using a lot of these tools for years and years and years. It's hence the reason why I've never changed them and never needed to either, because they are just extensions of my hand. I find quite a lot of the time when people just change to either scissors or clippers or combs or whatever it is, you're just getting used to something again, and sometimes that can be a nice refreshing change, especially if you're just getting a bit bored of stuff or you feel like stagnating. Then fair enough, I do sort of get it. But for me, Leaf has always been the one. I love them as a brand. I also love their ethos as well. When it comes to the swivel, obviously you can see this little thumb area here, and all that does is help you move your wrist in a much more ergonomic way, and something that is a little bit more comfortable going from that to that. Initially, that is pretty much the long and short of it. It is just more comfortable, it's going to give you more longevity. The main reason that they design their scissors in the way that they do is purely to be more comfortable so you can cut hair for longer, and I think that's kind of a nice thing. Again, I use a 5.5 blade, which I think is similar to you, to be honest with you. It's a nice happy medium between having something that's very good with detailed work, but also commercial as well. I do have some scissors that are a little bit shorter, but from a day-to-day perspective, I always use a 5.5. Again, from the swivels, I've got the silvers, which are just a nice classic pair of scissors. Again, if I'm cutting, something that's very much like a sort of baseline, a fringe or whatever, they're nice as well because they can turn into Eastern grip, and they also as well are small enough for me to feel like I can do detailed work.
Yeah.
So that is those, and then literally the black cushions are just a black version of the, what's it called? I think the cobalt silver? No, the cobalts were actually Charlie Gray's, which I never actually got.
Sad face.
Charlie. Why did I not get them? Yeah, literally you can see the little leaf logo, and you can see they are just a nice pair of scissors.
Yeah.
And I quite like them in black. These are brand new as well, so they're uber sharp, which is hence the reason why my knuckle has been chopped off all this last couple of weeks. Honestly, right, I cut myself 3 times and then cut all 3 cuts off the other day, which is
ideal.
I'm looking at a bit gammy.
Yeah.
And then, what's it called? I'll let you talk through your scissors as well.
Yeah, so obviously Aidsy's rocking all leaf. He kindly gave me these pink editions, which we mentioned on episode 3. So yeah, same shape as the black and the silvers, exact same size, 5.5. Was the first 5.5 that I'd ever used, but I really do prefer it. Like I said, I don't have humongous hands, so this is a really nice detail scissor, and it's loud in pink, and I like that.
You love the pink.
Yeah, I love the pinks, but the blacks are looking really nice. I could see myself using them.
The black editions are just kind of nice, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
You know, the
I do
one
like
thing
that.
as well that Leaf didn't send me over is a pair of thinners.
We don't have a pair of thinners out today.
We don't have a pair of
To be
thinners.
fair, I won't lie, the thinners that I use are just cheap thinners that I got ages ago, because I very rarely use them.
The thing is
detail.
though, is I will say, is it does matter about the quality of the scissor, even if it's a thinner or an Evo blade. And to be honest with you, it's something that I definitely need in my kit bag, because it's just another paintbrush.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In the
I
arse.
do like using them, and I'm like, I should upgrade this, but I don't generally use a thinner.
No,
I find there's other more refined ways of doing some of the work that
Yeah,
can do.
that's true.
It's the only reason I don't use it.
But it's like every tool has its place. It's like, say if you're doing like a fringe or something like that and you really want it to be like amazing. Nice and sort of textured, even just going through on a diagonal and then just pulling. And it is using something with a little bit more level of execution than just going which is hence the reason why thin and shear got a bad name, is because people were just, well, it's not even that, it's more like people just doing fucking chompy ass scissor over comb into fades,
smash it with
and then
thinners.
Exactly. And like, it's one of those things like, can it get blemishes of weight out? Yes it can. Does doing this all the way through? No, it's not going to help, is it, realistically?
That's bad barbering, I think, innit? But the secondary pair of scissors I use, because the least are the number one scissors I use are the Mataki Assassins. I picked these up at Sal International. Assassins, yeah, the 5-star
Such
Assassins.
a scissor name.
Yeah, a lot of Mataki's names are all very like on that same road.
Like samurai swords.
Yeah, it's quite a cool little thing, I think. But so these are a 6-inch scissor, and I did get the little green gemstone in there because green's my favourite colour. But so these are the 5 stars. So I think Mataki's grading system works in stars. So 3 being like your entry level scissor.
And then you have like another level.
Yeah, so I got a super good deal on these at Sal International because I picked them up from Alex Burt at the Mataki.
It's why you never ever buy scissors except for an expo. It's one of the best things about going to them, to be honest with you, is you'll always get a mad deal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then I think these are sick. Like Mataki is a brand that I really, really do like. I've used these for a long time, and you know, either of these scissors I would be more than happy to just use forever. They're really, really nice scissors. The quality's great on both of them, and I've had next to no issues with blocking. Both come with pretty decent like sharpening services and stuff. I recognise. I think Mataki definitely does have like a pretty solid deal on sharpening, but
we just get Yoy.
Yeah, get Derek on the job. Man knows.
Literally, like I just trust him, and the fact that he used to be Casio certified sharpener, it's rated, to be honest with you. Moving on to something a little bit more niche. So you'll notice as well that I do not have a feather razor on here. And there is a reason for that. And you're probably wondering, what the fuck is that? Is it a feather razor? Is it a pen? Is it, what the hell is it? And you will have seen this sort of pop up on my Instagram if you follow me quite a lot. It's a company from Germany, Frank, and the rest of the team. Kai Wilson was actually the one that got me sort of involved with these guys and made me sort of recognise them, and then me and Charlie as well ended up seeing them because Charlie did their expo at Salon International, so did Robert Eaton. Loads of people that basically I respected a lot were using this tool, and as well they sort of approached me and like kind of let me loose with it as well. And it's kind of just a cool concept because all of the movement that you can achieve with a feather razor, you can achieve with this without jeopardizing the integrity of the hair. And it's all due to a patented angle. You know it's German when they start saying that the fact that
the engineering is kind of techy.
It's fucking insane, and that's why you pay a little bit of a price point. It's usually like a subscription service to actually get one of these, or you can pay a flat rate of, I think it's somewhere around £800. Is it £800?
I think
I haven't looked at it.
You end up paying closer to like 12.
It's a lot of money.
Expensive.
But the idea of it is because it is such a niche tool. It's a tool that you can't just use if you are completely inexperienced with cutting hair. You have to have some level of hair control in order to be able to learn how to use this, because otherwise you're going to feel like it just doesn't work. Because it's specifically designed only to cut on the angle. So if you're just using it like a razor, it's just going to chew up hair and it's just not really going to cut at all. Whereas the two basically lines that you essentially have a little look. So you've obviously got this inner one and then you've got that outer one. It's all made out of titanium, which again is kind of like this beautiful kind of
perfectly
balanced feel, if I can fucking do it. That was a failed attempt, isn't it? It's literally, it's just very balanced.
It's a Thanos meme here.
No, but But basically, you hold it very much like a pen, and literally you can do small pulsing, medium pulsing, and then also hold it at the end for a larger, more feathered kind of look. But again, because you're cutting it almost against your finger, like you're creating that consistent line, but it is almost like point cutting, but at the same time, more of a feathered kind of look, depending on how quickly you do it. But there's honestly so many ways. I'll do an entire video on this at some point. Or if you have a look at my Instagram as well, I'm always showing as well this product, and I just think it is a little bit mad, to be honest with you.
It is a crazy thing. So obviously, I thought you were Cosmo or something. I've supported the.
No, I was actually
team.
on holiday.
Well, he was sunning it somewhere. So I supported the calligraphy team in hosting their event in Leeds, and like they let us all loose on mannequin heads with these pens, and like when I first picked it up, I was like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, like
it
it's
really
hard.
is difficult. But by the end of the day, like I did understand how to use it. It is really nice, but obviously on that the play date as they call them, you don't get for the client to come back and tell you how they feel
calling it a
about
their
their
calligraphy.
Play
Stop
date.
calling them play date. It's like it literally just makes it sound juvenile, doesn't it? But it's just like literally like the play dates are like an idea where you get hands on with a tool, especially with it being so different and so unique and so hard, to be honest with you, to use for the very first time. As well, there's brand protection in there, and it's something that I really, really respect. It's not a case of let's just sell you something and then don't give a fuck what you do with it. Like, they actually protect their brand, because when you sign up, you don't just get the pen, and the reason why it is a little bit more costly is you essentially get an entire education platform given to you, which you do step by step, and you literally do it, and you have to do it in systematic order. You also get taught how to market it, how business, like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and it's a very, very sort of, I don't know, there's just levels to the company and the way that they actually do things, and they're a lovely, lovely team. Frank as well, I've said this on obviously the other podcast, I think it was episode 3. He's just the most passionate guy in the world, bro. Like, and I kind of just fucking rate it so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like literally, that's a staple, and something that's just replaced the feather razor for me. Like, I do still own it for when I'm doing shoots. Again, there is a time and a place for where you want to batter someone's ends. Like, it just is. So, if I was looking at more of a commercial side of things, which is what this was supposed to be, that's why the calligraphy is in there, because I'm going to protect someone's hair rather than looking for immediate sort of effect, essentially. So
from what I gather, clients who have had their hair cut with that do then later come back and say that it feels a lot nicer.
It just makes your hair feel fuller, like, because it is the healthiest cut. It's even better and sort of healthier cut. It's almost like cutting your hair like a flower, so it'll be on like that angle. So even if you're doing a complete straight line, but that's why it's so cool though, is because if you cut it all on this sort of angle, you're gonna make the hair move in that direction. That's fucking crazy. Like, honestly, like, I will do an entire video on that, because the customizability of a haircut that you can do with that is nuts. Like, so I will be doing some education stuff as well with that, because I'm getting sent over some doll's heads as well. They've asked me to do some bits and bats, so I'll put some shit on the channel as well for some longer format stuff. But yeah, I think literally, I mean, you don't have a feather razor, but
no, I do like using a feather razor. I'm not a fan of using like the full body thing or putting like a razor blade in something. I do like having a pack of feather razors that I will just then, just use to stylize a little a little fringe or the ends off.
It has its place, bro. Like, it has its place. Like, it's one of those. And I think the only other razor that we use, and to be fair, I don't think you've got one at mine, because it's we didn't need two, to be fair. There's a couple of things on the table that we've just kind of just had out, so we could actually get it on the fucking table as well. But yeah, a cutthroat. So for any barber's toolbox, you should have a cutthroat, to be honest with you. Whether you're lining up beards and stuff like that, then yeah, it is a staple in your kit. This is nothing fancy. The blades that go into it are probably a lot more fancy than the actual fucking thing itself. It's nicely weighted. I personally, this is like my favourite cutthroat, but the blades are just extortionately expensive instead of just getting your cheap couple of pounds Gillettes. But these will they are just a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Like they are, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things. If you can make something else work for slightly cheaper, then go ahead, especially if it is your first kit. Speaking of things that are cheap and easy for you to get in your kit that will matter the most, arguably, is your clips and your comb as well. Because realistically, like they're just a staple. Do not spend shit tons of money on anything else other than a bog standard box. You know when you just get the little plastic box, I think they're about £3.90, somewhere around that area.
Hair shops, yeah.
Literally, just get a pair of them. The one thing that I will say is go to town on how individual and how unique you can find these. Because people are robbing bastards.
They certainly are.
And they steal your shit. And
Yeah.
every single time I bought a white and a black pair of these, which they are kind of expensive, like when you're going through them as quickly as I am, like, I don't know what it is about everything. Everyone just sees something like this and they go, "Oh, I love that."
Yeah.
Like, it's like a fucking magpie.
So for those that don't know, what's the difference between that clip and that clip then?
Right, so obviously, well, that's a section clip. So this is for, say, if you're sectioning hair, twisting it up and then pushing it away, because it's slightly longer. Then we do have a short version of one of these, which are absolutely fine. They're very good for like pin curling and stuff like that. However, the reason why that we like these with the slightly flatter area is because we don't leave a line in the hair. So like, say if I'm like setting someone's fringe, I'm not going to leave a crease with a very small
But I
sort
don't
of
think
surface
those
area.
are necessarily something that an average barber would have in their kit, because this is more for your shoots and like really styling like
I don't
longer
think
looks.
it actually is. Personally, I think a lot of the time, even if I'm cutting hair in the salon, I will use this in somebody's fringe, to be honest with you. Only in the fringe I tend to use it, like on a day-to-day basis. But to be honest with you, I think they are something that's kind of important to have. Like, you guys all in the salon have them
We use them,
in your
yeah.
kit bags because you've robbed them off of me, you bastards. But
You're not wrong.
I'm not.
Where have all my black clips gone on?
Yeah. All of a sudden, when I look in someone's tin for a plaster, like I did the other day, it was all of a sudden they're all here. It's like finding the mice.
Yeah, the borrowers.
Gonna say, but nah, it's literally it's one of those. I think you've got to have them in your kit bag, like, because it's just a nice thing to have, especially for styling hair. So if you blow drying someone's fringe and it's prone to frizz, just literally whamming a couple of those in. Even if you wanted to scrunch someone's hair up and then clip it in and then blow dry it, and then you've got that lift in there. And you're obviously drying that sort of little bit of extra texture without having to bring a brush in there or scrunch your fingers, which can sometimes irritate hair. Like, I think that's just a nice thing to have in there, and it can also as well promote you as a hairdresser or as a barber to do something a little bit funner, like something a bit different. Like, I've noticed since you guys have been using them, you've been putting them in different ways and different sort of ratios on the head, like, and it creates a bit of fun in there as well.
I think clients notice things like this as well.
It's a bit of theatrics as
They
well.
like
Yeah,
that sort of
100%.
stuff. Yeah, it's like when you bust out a feather razor or the calligraphy, people will look and be like, oh, okay, wizard today, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just adding as well, like, more tools in your arsenal. Obviously there's basics, and when you're learning the fundamentals, you only need basic tools.
Yeah.
But then when you're actually trying to go further than just doing a basic haircut with somebody, then yes, you do need to have a little bit more dexterity in your toolkit. And I think this isn't ostentatious. It's not like arrogant, like, or anything like that. I think this is just something that two experienced barbers or hairdressers, whatever you want to call each other, like, should have in their kit bag, to be honest. I think the only other niche tool that realistically that most people wouldn't is if you do afro hair, you'll know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
This is basically something for doing your ends and doing all that sort of jazz, but it's also as well got a little section hook as well. So like, you can do twists. So say if you're like twisting afro hair, people know what that is. Or if you're doing sort of someone's edges, then obviously you can do that. Again, that is a little bit more of a session tool that I would use that in, but you never know. Like, I just like to have it in there just because. And as well, sometimes when I'm trying to section through hair and someone's got massive curly hair, using that, I've only got that much of a comb to go through the hair for it to all build up. Whereas if I've even got somebody with Caucasian curly hair, I can literally go from one side, pinch it, and then open it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that's really, really important. Combs wise, a clipper comb is kind of important. I use a carbon comb. Did I give you this one? Like
This one, I got this from Gary at Barber Bash.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah, he was giving.
Oh
me
no,
that.
to be fair, who did I give the one from Gary from Barber Bash? Because we got them from, was it Glasgow?
Glasgow
Barber
indeed.
Bash, that's where we got them from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use a carbon one. Again, I've had this for about 5-6 years. I don't use them as much as what I used to do.
Nah, I do prefer scissor over comb for a softer approach. But there are
Personally,
some hair types.
If I'm
where-
doing a very short crop and I want it to look like a barber crop,
Yeah.
like a proper, like I want my fade to be as blurry as fucking possible,
Yeah.
I will use that.
Yeah.
Like, and to be honest with you, that is fucking, personally, I like a proper stiff one. Am I right in saying that's kind of bendy?
Quite bendy, yeah. There are some out there that will fold the minute you put it to a client's head, and I really dislike that.
They don't like it, man.
Nah.
Scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is like, as long as the teeth don't go right the way in.
Yeah.
This can bend because that actually has its place if you were going to use it vertically.
Yeah.
But I just, if the teeth start bowing in, like it's just
You've got
it's
problems.
not a bit,
Yeah.
man. And as well, like like you say, you can just all of a sudden fuck an entire haircut. Now you were putting me to shame, mate, with your fucking.
My YS Parks, yeah.
With your YS
I feel
Park.
like YS Park's industry standard now across
I think
hairdressing
most
and
people
barbering.
have a YS Park.
Yeah.
They are just the dog's bollocks. I am very much in need of another one. YS Park, if you fancy hooking a brother up, then I would be greatly appreciated. You used to have a black wide tooth. This is, personally, the best comb in the world. So if you ever want a comb, get one of these and get it in white as well.
Yeah, I'm a
because
proper nerd, so I think is that a 336 or a 339?
I've got
I
it.
can't remember which
fucking clue, to be honest
which
with
way
you, mate.
around. I'll have my glasses on, but
It's just the wide tooth for me. Like, I think if I'm going to use the wide tooth side of a comb, then I want it to actually be wide tooth.
yeah, that's great for scissor over comb. I think.
Yeah.
That is my go-to.
But then at the same
comb.
time, it still has the
Yeah.
finer side for when you want to be. It just passes through hair.
Yeah.
Don't know what sort of technology goes into YS Park combs, but they do
They are
pass through.
top
The
tier.
only other comb that I don't have anymore is a Matador. Is it saw cut comb? They were beautiful as well. Like honestly, like really, really good comb, and that just passed through your hair. Really good for knotty hair for some reason.
Yeah.
Again, like there must be technology that goes into them. I wish I knew more about it, but I just don't care. It
Fair.
works.
Yeah, I'll
or
pick
it
it
doesn't
up
work.
and it works.
Yeah, it's just
absolutely.
it's one of those things. I'm just not interested in learning the full-on ins and outs of it. I'm just like, does it work for what I need it to work for? Because I feel like this is as well as one of the reasons why everyone starts bumming over fade blades and this, that, and the other. It's like you're buying into a sales tactic.
It's just something
Realistically,
else
does it
to
work
say,
or not work?
Yeah.
So-
And again, another essential in the comb department is an afro pick.
Yeah, 100%.
That will do you for
Again,
curly to super textured afro hair.
mine's very similar to this. It's super, super stiff.
Yeah,
Like super, super stiff.
this one's pretty solid.
We do have as well one in the shop that's like that long, but at
Yeah.
the same time, like that's just for people that have, like, say when I'm doing, what's his name now, Tafara's hair, like
Oh,
a
yeah,
huge afro,
huge
like
afro.
you just need something that can get in there and also like pick all the way up
Yeah.
without it taking like 9 years. And as well, another staple is what we use is the Heist one, which comes with a hairdryer, which we'll come on to in a minute. But honestly, Heist vent brush, it's actually my favourite one. I used to use a Kent for like 9 years, and it's now sat over there. It's been sanctioned to the windowsill
Yeah.
of doom, mate. Which
I've
is
used
where all hair
Denman's
products
Babyliss,
are.
but that highest one is really nice.
Yeah, it just works really nice. Like genuinely, it's a solid little thing. I like the feel of it. And another brush that has literally been with me for God knows how long. The thing is though, is I find something,
You never
and
let
when
go.
it works, no,
Yeah.
unless it's broken, which to be honest with you, this is only missing a few teeth, like, and it's literally been with me for God knows how long. Like if you're squirting mousse and then brushing it through, if someone's hair
Yeah,
is
soft
super,
brush on
super
it.
knotty, and I need to work from like sort of the tips of their hair right the way up, and I just don't want something that's gonna grab. Like literally, this is more of a hairdressing brush, to be honest with you. But again, this is like, you know, when you get Blades of Glory when he's got his brush. Do not touch the brush. It's like literally, this is just my absolute baby, to be honest with you. Like, it's been through thick and thin with me, but yeah, literally, you can get these Mason and Pearson brushes. Shout out Kendall because he absolutely fucking loves them. But like literally, like you can get any form of soft brush. But I think everybody should have a soft brush.
That's the brush on shoots when you don't tell me what it is. You just you do this. I know that's the brush that you mean.
It's like a fucking dummy. Like,
Isn't it?
Pacify it, like, yeah. Like, literally, it's one of those. But like, I'd use that for so many things. Like, I know. But this is as well, the reason why I always call for it is I know what it does and I know how to use it. And that's why having your staple set, stick with it, learn it, obsess over it, and fucking perfect what you do with it. And then only interject things when you actually feel like you can't achieve them truly with the tools that you've got. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't need 6 million brushes for 6 million things. Unless you're doing like a shoot or like you're an editorial stylist or whatever, you don't fucking need it.
Day
like,
to day, you probably cut 4 to 5 different haircuts.
Exactly. Well, that's not like the reason why I'm saying it. It's more like, because obviously like all hair is very different. It's just learning what you can do with a tool is a much more valuable skill than just buying something else just purely out of the sake of fucking buying it because it does this. Because I can guarantee you that brush or that tool that you've been told the fact that works perfectly with the hair, you could probably achieve it with something else, or you're also getting sold this kind of like, it just makes it easy. It doesn't. Like, educate yourself with your stuff and just repetition, as you call it, get your reps in. It's my favourite term that you said, actually.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing as well, this, off of Amazon, I'll leave the link, this is the only pop tag sort of fade brush that you really need because it's soft and it doesn't hurt your client.
Yeah, some are hella aggressive, like a dish brush, aren't they? Some of
So
them.
fucking hard, bro. Like,
Yeah.
honestly. When I found this, shout out Bobby as well, because it was Bobby actually that showed me this one. But yeah, I think it's like horse and basil hair or something like that. Sorry, basil brush, you just got fucking scalped. This obviously is such a basic staple. Get an atomizer, don't get a water spray. It's 2025, let's be in the future.
Get a digital water bottle.
Yeah, you have yours covered in stickers because you got a personality like that.
Yep. Mine's not boring.
Yeah. I just like mine. I just like it all black. That's just me. Like,
Yeah.
Which again is kind of wavy. The fact that all my clothes are just never black. And then finally, I know I don't have the hose on it, but literally this is my new hairdryer from Heist as well. Another company that has decided to work with.
You get looked after, you know.
I do get looked after, but I've worked hard to be there.
Very true.
So this is the quietest hairdryer I have ever used. I would even say as quiet, if not quieter than a Dyson. And also as well, the reason why I don't like using Dyson hairdryers is because they don't have a nozzle. I'm old school with it. I'd still do women's hair and I like to have a nozzle. I was actually blow drying somebody's hair at the house the other day and I was doing a bouncy blow dry and I was like, fuck me, I've missed this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like one of those things where just being able to like get through and like, it's like a motion that I've learnt for years. Using my pinky, yes, you can do it. You can get good tension around the brush, but I know how to get that tension in there, like, and it's just like a muscle memory thing. So, again, super cool brand, super affordable as well. This is not a £400 hairdryer. It's literally, I think, £200 if I'm right in saying somewhere around there. I should really check these things. We'll probably put it in the negative space over. Oh no, we don't have it because we're in wide angle mode. Which, can I just say, does this not make us look like we're in like a skate park? Kind of like
that curve to the table.
I feel like I need a grill in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I should have got my heart sessions grill. Like, honestly, nah, it's lost. Literally, my friend that I left it at the house.
The sands of time.
They got pissed off with me and they lost it, which I thought was kind of apt. Defo's got thrown in the bin. But yeah, hey. But yeah, I think that is everything out of our bag.
Yeah.
Welcome to Heart Sessions Vogue. What's in my bag? What's in your bag? What's in the bag? What's in the box? Fucking hell. But yeah, literally, that is everything that I think you guys will need. if you guys think that we've missed anything, feel free to put it in the comments below, and we'll have a little gander. On the next episode, we are going to be going through some of the biggest hairdressers in the UK and also Europe, going through their session bags. So if you want to know what it takes to have, you know, what sort of tools a large hairdresser wants. Oh, sorry, I'm like absolutely butchering.
If you want to know what your favourite hairdresser uses to achieve the looks they do, tune in.
Yeah, that's all you need to
Top and bottom of that.
But yeah, literally, we're going to have some pretty big names on that one as well. I'm kind of excited to see.
Yeah.
We're also as well going to be purchasing everything on their list as well, which is probably going to cost me a fucking fortune. But because we're not monetized, because you guys should subscribe and support your boys, and then that way we can make bigger and more elaborate videos and do more giveaways and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, literally, don't forget to drop us a subscribe and make sure that you stay tuned into the channel, because we've got some amazing projects that are going on behind the scenes. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
We will. Take care. Brush your hair.
Peace.
Peace.